Hello and welcome back. So today we're gonna talk about Enderskills. And to get into Enderskills, you first thing you will need to find is Ender ore. And mining that Ender ore will give you Ender dust. Using that Ender dust, you will be able to make more items that will make you get into the mod. So the first thing you will need in the mod is the altar. And if you can make an altar depending on the wood you're using. So I'm using dark oak, so that will make me a dark altar. Okay. So to make that altar, you will need 3 planks at the bottom and 1 barrel in the middle, 2 iron and a book. That will make you out. And the altar is how everything is gonna go. So the altar where you can open new spells, passives and everything using the altar. Now to give that altar power, you will need to make some items. So the first item that you will need to make is an ender token. To make the token, you will need 2 gold, 1 ender dust, 1 redstone, 1 diamond and 4 blocks of glass all around. That will make your ender token. Using that token, you can make a crystal block, and to make the crystal block you will need 4 blocks of glass and you will need 4 iron ingots. Now the last thing, which is the ender matrix, and to make the matrix you will need 2 diamonds, 1 block of redstone and 4 blocks of glass and 2 ender pearls. And using that will make your ender matrix. And that's the last item you will need to give power to your altar. Now for altar. So the way that the altar works, by right clicking it, simply you can place the altar. Now you can right click and open the altar. So the first thing is that every spell that you're gonna get, you'll have a requirement that you need to reach before you can reach a skill and get a skill. And to get each skill you will have to give XP. You have to store your XP inside. So by storing your XP inside or taking the XP out, so I can just store my XP, all of it inside it, or take it out whenever I want. So now there is 3 different bars, so defense, mobility and offense. Going to each one, you can unlock your spell. So if I go for defense here, the first one, it has a requirement. So if I don't have the requirement, I can't open. If I have the requirement, I can open. So the first one is the requirement. Now there is something called the power of the altar. So to increase the power of the altar, you will need to put block of crystals around it. So the first level, all you need is just 2 blocks and that will reach you. And each level will be harder. So the levels are basically indication of what kind of spells you can get. So this level 1, level 2, level 3 and level 4. So by increasing your altar power by crystals, you can get more. So I'm just gonna go, for example, higher level than that. So that's the next level. So then we have the next level. So now I wanna unlock a new spell. So that will gonna be a requirement. So the normal requirement is the XP. The second requirement is the EL, which is the EL requirement is this number. And the way that you increase that EL power is by using token. So by right clicking an ender token, you will increase your EL. So for the first few levels, it will be easy, simple. You can just right click and you get the level. But after that, it will start getting harder. You see, so here I'm using a lot, but I'm not getting that many. So the way that it works basically is that the amount of EL you have is gonna be almost the amount of skills that you're gonna get from each element. So now I can reach more. Now I reach this. I want to reach the next spell, so I want to go increase my power a little more. So here I'm gonna increase it more. It's gonna take a little bit of a lot more than just 2 again. So that's it, and that will reach me the latest level, which is this one. Now I can't unlock this yet. I have to make the altar stronger, which is reach the ultimate altar. When you reach that level, it will, by looking at it, will tell you drop an ender matrix on it. So by just simply throwing that ender matrix on it, it will upgrade to the ultimate altar. By the way, it will deal damage to you and it will explode, so it would be better if you move away. So now the altar has the power inside it. You don't have to put any blocks again. So the power is in it and it's full. Now you can reach more. So now you can get more spells and it's okay. So now you have for each one, you have 6 spells and 6 passives. That's for each one, and you can open all of them if you want, as much as you have. So you have to go in a circle. So you have to get the first 3 ones, and then you can go and get all of them. So I can now get all of them since I have the ultimate altar. And that's different. Now after that, you can upgrade the levels. So let's, for example, if I hold here, it's telling me level 1, and now if I increase it, the cooldown will increase by 1. decrease by 1, and the range will increase and the duration will increase. You can increase it by, if you want, and it can go up to level 50 if you want. And you can also, if you hold control, you can spam it. Okay, now the last thing is that I want to talk about is that now I have one defense. I want to go for something like offense and get that. So I have unlocked, let's say, some spells here. How do I switch between them? So you see on the top left of my screen there is my endorsement and abilities. We're gonna get into that. So the last thing is how to switch between them. By pressing Alt and A or Alt and D, you're gonna switch between. You can change that from your hotkeys if you want, but that's the default. Okay, so that's basically everything you need to know to how to get in, to get your skills, your abilities and everything. And now we're gonna go get into the all of the skills. So now for all the skills that we can have, so the first thing we have the skills from the defense and the passive. So the first thing is that we have is the charm. So to use any spell by default you can press Alt and number 1 to 6 depending on the spell. So let's go for the first one. Is the main one is the charm. You just, if you throw it at something, you can see this line between me and an animal. I charmed it. Second one is the second spell is the heal aura, and by using it you have an AoE heal between you and everyone around you. Okay, that's enough. Oh boy, please. Yeah, drop here. Okay, so now the second thing after that is a boost, and you give a boost to you and everyone, you and all of your allies and everyone. After that we have a heal, and it heals for each one, you, and it heals all of your allies. Last one, it heals you, so that's a heal for you. And the last spell of all of them is the invulnerability, and that gives you and everyone around you invulnerability, but it does not give you invulnerability to knockback. So, and also I want to talk about how it works. So like if I go game mode here and go to survival, now each spell that I'm gonna use has cooldown and takes mana. Mana in Enderskills is basically endorsement. So I have 40 endorsement. Let's say I go use any spell, it will go in cooldown and it will use endorsement. So the best thing is that when you upgrade the spell, the endorsement for the amount of cooldown and it will decrease, so you can use them a lot more, and you have like up to 50 levels, so you can make a normal spell into a very strong spell. Okay, so that's all the spells for the defense. Now let's get into the next one, which is the mobility. So all I do is press Alt and D, and that will switch me to the mobility. So the first one is the dash, and that allows me to sprint. So if I hold on my W normally, or moving with any W or ADST keys, and I just press Control, tap on it, I will get this dash in front. So, and it has a cooldown. So let me go back to creative so I can use them easily. So if I just run and tap my control, which is my sprint, I will dash. Second one is a double jump boost. So here it allows me to have an extra jump, and every time I use that extra jump I will use mana. So let me switch survival here. So you see I'm using mana, but I can have an extra jump. Okay, after that we have the boost, which is that makes a fog. So if a mob is following me, let me get a zombie here, and that one mob is following me, I can use a spell to make a fog and make the mobs lose me. So, oh, that is not the right key. I used the wrong key. So now I put this fog that makes mobs can't see me and they won't attack me. So the next ability, what it does is that if you hold shift while flying, it will deal damage to all mobs. It will crush them like they're falling. Now the next the ability after that is what it does. It basically makes you haste, and what it does, it decreases the cooldown of all of your abilities. After that we have the last ability, and the strongest one in the mobility, and it's a speed boost, and it gives you a really high speed boost. Look at this. This is so fast. It's incredibly fast. Okay, and if you can look, if you want see, like there's like my shadow can't follow me. That's how fast I am. Okay, now for the next ability we have the offense ability, and the offense ability are using the power of the void. So the first ability we have in the offense is the shadow, and that ability summons a copy of me that will mimic my attacks. So here, this is my copy, and it will mimic my attack. Next ability in the shadow is Gloom, and it sends a quick long range beam of darkness at mobs that it hit, and it will keep dealing damage to them. So by just using that, and this is like, it has like kind of a wither effect. Okay, next spell we have in the offense is Shadow Fury, and it sends a quick stream of punches that will deal damage to a mob. So it's this, and it will keep damaging that mob. Okay, now let's see. After that we have the gas cloud. It summons a cloud of poisonous gas that will gas. So just throw that like this, and it just will keep dealing damage. And it looks really cool. Look at this. Okay. After that, we have grass. Some of the like some sort of like the void that will keep pulling them in their place. And so if I just put some mobs here and I use it on the ground, now they can't. So it's like you can combo them together. Last ability in the offense, it's a void. So you have the black hole. Summons a black hole that pulls enemies and deals damage to them. So if I just do this, it summons this amazing big black hole, and it just keep dealing damage to them, and at the end it will explode, dealing more damage. And it's the best part is that you can increase the damage for that. So now for the passive. So each one had like active abilities, but each ability has passive too. So that, for example, for the defense you have explosive resistance, damage resistance, knockback resistance, magic resistance, heart boost. It's increased the amount of heart temporarily, and fire resistance. So you have all of these resistance. In the mobility one, you have a jump height, a speed, it increases your speed, fall resistance, endurance, it increases your endurance points so you can use more spells, and you have stealth damage. These extra damage when melee attacks are out of the target of view, and the last one is swim speed, increases your swim speed. So these are the mobility. Last passives we have is the from the offense, which is the using the borrowed. It increases overall damage, attack damage, increases swing speed for all weapons, and it making them deal more damage. Knockback increases the force of the knockback. We have increased the ability strength, increase the crit chance of dealing a crit chance, and last one is armor penetration. So it's all over. The spell, the passives are amazing, and the best part is like, I want to show you like something here. So for example, this like I have this one. When it gives me shift, now it's piercing 0. Let's go for something like increased damage. So now my damage is 0%. It will increase by 2.5. So if I increase it once, now the next level, you see the increase, it's now became 9%. The increase is not just like a small increase, it's a really good increase, and you can level it up for a lot. And the best part about the passive is that now I increase it to 102. Look at this. This is the amount of damage. I'm increasing my damage, but this much. So like I want to go try it out right now. So I have now this amount of damage increases. My auto attacks one shots mobs. My normal auto attacks one shot the mob. If I want to use like the point on it, so it just increase. And by the way, this could be a little bit like strong in some mods, especially big mods that you have an easy way of making a mob farm. But there is a config that you can set up things from it, and that's it. And that's it for all of that. But like for leveling up normal skills, there is a limit for passives. I haven't found a limit for them yet. Okay. The last thing I want to talk about is some potions and arrows added by Enderskills. So the first thing you want to make is to make all of these potions, you will need a strange potion. To make the strange potion, you will need an eye of an ender. Now the potions. So the first potion you can make is an ability power potion, and basically ability power potion will make your abilities stronger. Now, and to make that, you will need a strange potion and any of these items. There is also a potion for cooldown, and the last thing is a potion for endurance. So that will get your endurance back. That's one for cooldown, and last one is for mana ability power. Now you can turn these potions into a different version of them called the linear potion, and using that version you can turn them into arrows that you can shoot normally, and these arrows will have the same passive. So if you shoot a player with them or something, they will get the passives. So it's the same idea, and that is the last thing in Enderskills. That's it for Enderskills. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.